In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about the sales process and how you perhaps have your sales process and how that relates to the Microsoft CRM system. Specifically, we're going to talk about something called leads and how you can actually put them into the tool and then also use that to qualify them into hopefully a potential opportunity for your products and services. So what are leads? Anyone or someone who has an interest in your product or services. Commonly, if, say for example, if you're at a trade show and you have people that come by your booth, you probably get a list of those individuals, and you can actually import that list into the CRM tool and then start allowing your sales and marketing people to start engaging those potential leads into the possibility of them becoming a customer or an actual opportunity, which means they are more likely to purchase your products or services. So this workflow gives you a little bit about what we do. Is everything comes in sometimes as a lead, and I will show you how you can work with the leads and then qualify that lead into a customer or opportunity sales process. So today we're going to start with, I will show you how to import a list of contacts or leads into the tool, create a marketing list that you can actually use to market and work these leads, and then also how to begin engaging the customers. So here we are in my CRM system, and every time you launch it, you usually have a dashboard. The key thing to remember is that CRM has several different modules. I like to think of them. You have your sales, you have your service module, and your marketing. Commonly out of the box. Well, when you look at the sales modules, there's going to be other entities. So think of an entity. The easiest way that I like to think of it is think of an entity actually as a table. And in that table is going to be all of your information. And then, like you would in Excel, you would have a table and it has rows and then it has columns. And each of the columns would be considered fields. So in the sales entity, you commonly have your accounts, which is the list or table of all of your actual accounts, such as companies that you work with, contacts, which are individuals. They may be affiliated with an account or they may be not. And those are your common major entities. And then, of course, you have your leads and your opportunities as well. So we're going to look at leads today. And so with leads, it actually will show you a listing of all of your leads that you have available to your customers. So think of this as just a list of potential prospects. So our next step here is we want to import a list of potential leads, perhaps that you got at a trade show. So the easiest way first is to go to settings within CRM and go to data management. Now in here is actually going to be two sections. One is the imports, where you're actually going to import it. But remember, again, this is a database, so the tables are kind of set up a certain way. So it's good to use a template. And so Microsoft provides these templates. And in this scenario, I'm going to go choose the lead template. And then I'm going to download this. So once this template is downloaded, it's going to basically be a spreadsheet. And you want to enable it. And you're going to find again that there's these columns, and think of the columns as your actual fields. So what you want to do is put your data or cut and paste your data into these columns and make it as simple as possible or easiest as possible for you to upload that information into the tool. Now, in order to save time, I went ahead and created took that template, and I did add some information, such as under the topic, I put, okay, this is a trade show. It's the NAB show in Las Vegas. And then I didn't fill out all the fields, but I did fill out the primary name, first name and last, and the company name of the individual, and then also an email name, because more than likely I'm going to be emailing these people to start my initial conversations with them as a customer. So now I've got, say, like 4 accounts. Now the trick with this is you do need to save this file as a CVS file, or comma delimited file. So you would need to save this to your hard drive, and you could save it as a Excel spreadsheet first, and then resave it as a common delimited or CSV file next. That's the format it does need to be in order for it to be imported. The next step is I'm going to go into my settings area again and to data management, and now I'm going to go to the import section. And this is where you're going to actually import that list. So this is all the imports I've done in the past. I'm going to select import, and what it's going to do is start a wizard. And in the wizard, you are actually going to step through this whole process of importing. So just one moment, let me select my spreadsheets. Okay, I found my spreadsheet. I selected that, and now I'm going to follow the wizard. So I'm going to go to next, and now it's just confirming the file, and you notice it's a CSV file, so I'll go next. And then this is going to give you some options for data mapping. I commonly just do the default, which is automatic mapping. And then now where I'm at is I'm actually sending the source. So my source file is the Excel spreadsheet, the CSV file. And now I want to put this into a specific entity or table. So I said these were going to come in as leads. So I'm going to go down and select the leads option and then hit next. Now this is where I'm going to be mapping out my fields. So I have all those fields or columns in the spreadsheet, and they're going to map out to these fields within the table. Anything that has this kind of yellow caution means it hasn't been mapped out. And so you'll notice here status, for example, has not been mapped out, but other ones have, such as the name and so forth. So I'm just going to change this one to make sure it maps out correctly. And status means the status of the lead. So I'll go down to status. And then it's giving me my options. And I'm going to say these are all open leads. And then I'm not going to map these fields out. It's totally fine. It's just going to give me a message saying, are you sure? And then it's going to confirm this information, and I go next. And it's going to ask, am I going to have any duplicates? Are you okay with that? And now I'm going to begin the process. So now the wizard has completed its task. And when you go back to your import, you're going to notice here is this NAB 2016 leads to, and it's submitted. And because this is a website, you always kind of need to refresh the page. So I'm going to refresh the page, and right now it's parsing that information. I'll refresh the page again. It is now transforming that information. I don't know what that means. And then importing those names in now. And so I'll do it a couple times depending on how big the file is. And it's going to tell you when it's been successful, which one of those names were successful, which ones maybe failed in the import, which ones had problems. Hopefully, if all is good, we're going to have everything doing well. Okay, it has successfully imported those 4 names that were on the spreadsheet, so I'm all set to go. The next section is let's look at where those leads are. So now I'm going to go into the leads table, and you can do that under sales and leads. And I have a different view here. You know, you can always change your views, and I went ahead and created a view called NAB leads. And then here are those leads that I just imported. I actually imported some previously, so there's the other new ones. And so you'll notice that the topic name, which was under that field, is there, and it's the name of the individual and everything. So my leads are all there ready to go. Now let's talk about how do I create a marketing list. Next, we're going to create a marketing list. So I'm going to go to the little hamburger hashtag here, and I'm going to go to the marketing module. And you'll notice under the marketing is something called marketing list. And this is going to be a list of all of my marketing campaigns or marketing lists. So I'm going to create a new one. So I'm going to do new. And I'm going to give this campaign or marketing list a name. So I'm going to call it NAB 2016 Trade Show. And the list type is you have two choices. You either got dynamic or static. I'm going to do dynamic. I'm not going to discuss what the differences are at this time. Anything that has a red asterisk is going to be required. So it's targeted at leads, again, coming from my leads table. And the only other required field on here is my name, which is already taken or created because I created new. And then there's other data and information here I can put in as well, like a source. Maybe it was from, the trade show, or if you were doing a newspaper ad or a website. And then you can put some cost information, so you got some ways of tracking it. And then you want to save it to start, so you can either do save up here, or you can go to save in the lower right hand corner with this little floppy icon. Okay, now we created the marketing list like holder. Now let's add those contacts. So those would be called members. I'm going to have a trade show marketing list, and here are going to be those contacts. I hit the plus button. Now this is where it can get a little goofy because this little browser tool is kind of confusing, but the easiest way to find them is to go ahead to your leads. Remember, I put in several leads, and it's looking now at the leads folder, and under that folder was all of those leads that were listed as NAB 2016. And the status of that was equal, all those leads that are in that spreadsheet that have the open status and have a topic name of NAB. And so I'm going to find those. And so then it calls up all those same lists that we looked at earlier. And now I'm going to use this query, and then what it's going to do is it is going to, I use the query, and now it actually imported all of those leads into this marketing list. So now all of a sudden I have all of my leads in a marketing list folder or table, so to speak, and then these are all the individual contacts. So next I'm going to start working these individual leads. Perhaps I'm the sales representative in your company, and I have this list of all these leads now. So I can drill down on the individual contact or lead name, and it's going to give me this form that looks like this. And you'll notice it says lead, and then it's got the name of the individual, Bill Boeing. And there was this other information that we got from the spreadsheet. And it's laid out in a typical way where you have 3 columns on your page. So your contact information is here. You have your social pane, which would show any activities that you've done. And then any of the stakeholders are other contacts, for example, or other people who are influencing this potential opportunity. And then there is this business process workflow that we'll talk a little bit further about. But in a simple form, I'm now ready to engage this customer. So perhaps I'm going to give them a call. And I give them a call and I discuss, hey, I see where you attended our trade show event. And I commonly record that phone call with the add phone call section. I'm just going to bring that up so you don't see that. And actually in here I would put my notes. So for example, maybe I just attempted him and I didn't actually get a conversation and I just left a voicemail. So I'm going to say left a voicemail and hit close. And now all of a sudden there's a record of it. Let's say I call the next day and I actually talk to Bill. Now you can use any of your own data metrics or however you want to data consistency across your organization. So I'd say he is interested in our product. Asked to call later. But I talked to him. So again, I'm keeping information, I'm keeping a track of all of my activities that I've done with him. And those activities could be phone calls, those activities could be an email, an actual appointment, a lot of different things, but I'm keeping track of it. And then I can also keep track of notes in here as well as a centralized way to say just personal notes for me as an individual on how I'm working with this potential lead or customer. In the next video of the sales process, I'm going to show you how you can send emails to those leads with the Me email or mail merge feature. And then we'll also discuss a little bit further about how you would move that lead into an actual opportunity. Hope you enjoyed this video.